Welcome to the weekly team call. I forgot to hit record, so I've been chatting for a few minutes. We're going to dive right into this. So again, our new call time is Mondays at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So put that in your calendar. I'm going to write something real down. There we go. To write something out so I don't forget. Well, hello, Paul.
What up?
What's going on, my friend?
Life is fun and wonderful.
Amen to that, brother. All right, cool. So I'm going to talk about putting stuff into your schedule in a few minutes towards the end of this call. So I'm just going to dive right into this. So basically, we have a few things going on. So actually, before I start, recognition is Success Club is going out to myself and Lisa are at 5 points. We have Katie, Matt, and Danny at 2 points, and then Kaylee and Tom both at 1 point. If you're shooting for Success Club 5, I know you're probably thinking what I was thinking a lot of the times when I first started to hit Success Club. It's one of those things that it's really, really, really tough to hit when you first start. But it's one of those things that once you hit it, as long as you're going for it, it kind of gets not necessarily easier, but you get that momentum going, and it's not such a struggle to get those points in. So if you're going for Success Club 5, you may look at this month and say, we only have, 5 days left? Guys, I've gotten, I think my record so far was before Cancun, I was at 0 points, and within 48 hours, I had 11. It's never too late, and unless you are literally on the last minute, 11:59 p.m. on Eastern time, you always have time to do it. So if it's something that it's a goal of yours and you truly want it, you can get it. You just have to literally set your focus on it, because where your focus goes, the power flows, right? If you look around the room for red objects, you're not going to pay attention to anything yellow because you're going to see red. That's what you're focused on. So if you're focused on Success Club and helping 2 or 3 more people to end this month, it's totally doable. I can't tell you how many months in a row last year, when that was my big year from 2013 and 14, I can't tell you how many months in a row that I scraped by my 5 points on the last 3 days, because all of a sudden I had intense focus, just work ethic. Luckily, I don't wait till the end of the month anymore, because it's not a fun scrounging feeling. It's kind of like hitting a really, really big deadline. So anyways, moving forward, also new coach. I forgot to mention this last week, but congratulations to Haley, who was brought on by Chelsea. Congratulations to both of you, Chelsea, for sponsoring a new coach, and Haley for enrolling into what can be your big, bright future if you put in the work. So today I just want to talk about not any one particular topic, just kind of what's been on my mind this month. Our whole team focus for May was time management and focus, which is ironic because those are the 2 things I've struggled with this entire month. We're coming into our 4th week, and for the last 3 weeks, just like any month, I rocked week 1, and the last 2 weeks it's just been, for whatever reason, it's been a struggle. I know I'm not alone, which is why I want to talk about this stuff. Because I'm not going to sit up here and say I run a perfect business with perfect time management, perfect everything, because that's not true. Even the top 10 coaches are not that perfect. We all struggle, we all fall. But what's been on my mind, especially the fact that I literally just got back a few hours ago. We got out of town. We went down south to a town called Eugene, which is about an hour and a half away, and we just hung out with Trista's aunt and uncle at their place, and we just unplugged for the weekend, which is why you didn't see a whole lot of me inside of any groups or on even my own Facebook. I didn't post a whole lot. It was just my weekend to kick back, reflect. We went kayaking last night. We got to watch sunset, so it was just perfect time for me to just soak in nature, because for whatever reason, when you're out in nature and it's just all quiet, that's when you can get some of your best thinking done. So these are the things I was talking about to myself pretty much yesterday when we were kayaking. So bullet point, there's going to be 5 bullet points. So if you're taking notes, I highly recommend it. Whatever I say, this is all stuff I've been telling myself. So it's not like I'm going to be sitting up here saying, you guys need to do this and this and this. That's not it at all. You guys already know I'm not the type of leader that puts myself up on a pedestal and sits here and like tells you guys what to do in that sense, like I'm above anyone. I'm right here with you guys. We're all on the same playing field in my eyes. So this is all stuff I was telling myself over the last couple weeks, specifically over the last couple days as I was reflecting. And so whatever I say that sticks out to you, I want you to write this stuff down, because those are the things that you need to start working on. And if I say anything that kind of stings a little bit and you're like, ooh, I take a little bit of offense to that, it's probably because you're guilty of it. That's exactly how, anytime I listen to calls and somebody's like, you need to stop being lazy and using excuses, I'm like, well, you don't okay, maybe that was an excuse. Okay, maybe I'm guilty. I know I do that all the time. So again, if you're taking notes, I highly recommend it. Number 1 is going to be start fresh right now. If you want to finish off tonight worrying about what happened the last 3 weeks, go for it. You can stress yourself out all you want, but starting tomorrow morning when your eyes open, start fresh. I don't care if you had the crappiest 3 weeks of your life, you can start fresh. You know what the amazing thing about being a human being is? We're one of the only creatures on the face of the planet that has the amazing capability of choice, right? You look at trees and all these organisms that are on this planet, they don't really have a whole lot of choices, do they? They just kind of have to get, they have to suck it up and do whatever they were meant to do. We have the opportunity of choice, which is a good and a bad thing, because obviously we a lot of the time choose the easy, lazy, comfortable route to do stuff. We don't like to be pushed out of our comfort zones. That's why it's called a comfort zone, because we are so comfortable sitting there inside of it, and it does not feel nice when you push out of it. But unfortunately, outside that comfort zone is where everything you are desiring lives. You have to get out of it to get it. So forget everything that's gone on the last 3 weeks. Yes, we only have a week left in the month, but like I just said, it's not too late. Start fresh right now. This is something I'm doing. I went ahead and I looked at my big extravagant goals that I set for the whole month. Am I going to hit most of them? Probably not. Some of those goals are way too big to even fathom hitting in 1 week. So what I did was I said, okay, you know what? Screw it. I'm just going to swipe my slate clean. I'm going to look at my schedule for the next 7 days, and or 6 days, I guess. Memorial Day, obviously, most of us had the day off, and it was a little off schedule. So for the next 6 days, what can I do? What goals can I set? So again, you're not worrying about what you said in the beginning of the month or when you signed up as a coach. I know many of you had mentioned you wanted to be Emerald this month, and many of you are getting really close, but then some of you may not have even taken that first step. That's okay. Don't beat yourself up about it. I've rebuilt my diamond status 8 different times. You can imagine how frustrated and how much I beat myself up every single time. But every single time I said the same thing. It doesn't matter. Just forget everything that's gone on. Where can I start right now moving forward? Don't even reflect on the past, because you need to focus on right now moving forward, and what can you do in the next 6 days to help your life and your business. So that's tip number 1, just start fresh. Number 2 is going to be focus. This is one of our topics I wanted to put as like our theme for this month was focus. There's a watch going off. It's bugging the crap out of me somewhere. Get off traffic, squirrel. So focus, it comes down to, again, like I said earlier, the thing I used to do a lot was, oh, I still have 3 weeks and I'm only at 1 point. That's okay. Oh, I still have 2 weeks. I only have 1 point. I'm okay. Oh shit, I have a week left. I'm only at 1 point. I need to get my 5 points. And then the last 3 days, it's like the switch goes off and all of a sudden it's like, boom, I'm in like full on work mode. I'm actually doing the stuff that I should have been doing all month. And I get all that stuff done in 3 days. And it's like, boom, there's 6 points done. If you take that level of intensity and apply it to your whole month, can you imagine? You would not only be Emerald. I've seen people go diamond in 30 days because they apply that level of intensity. They talk to that many people per month. And you have to break that down to per week and per day what you can be doing. That's why you hear the term, if you want me to tell you how successful you are, you just give me a list of what you're doing every day, and I can tell you based on your daily activities whether you're going to make it or not. Because some people consider posting a Craigslist ad and they're like, oh, I did my invites for the day, I'm done. No, you're going to be stuck. You're going to struggle for a long time. But if I look at somebody's list, they're doing their 3 vital behaviors. They're inviting 2 to 5 people a day. They're talking to people. They're running challenge groups. They're doing all the stuff that they can do. Those are the ones who make it. And especially the fact that you have to understand you're going to get knocked on your ass more than one time in this thing. And when it happens, it's your choice if you get up or if you stay down. That's why I'm loving the term I post inside the group. It's, are you going to step up or step out? Because especially in the leaders group, we don't have room for discount coaches. We don't have room for the people who are just going to be in here and talk about it. We only have room for the people who are stepping up. So focus, guys. It's for 6 days. Anyone can do a 6-day push. You know, we talk about the big 30-day push and the big 60 or 90-day blitz, right? That's exhausting to do it for that long. You're going to burn yourself out if you do it that long. Anyone can do a week of anything. Think about when you first started working out, right? It seemed like this big, just overwhelming thing. You knew you were going to be sore. It was going to hurt. There were going to be days where you don't feel like it. You knew all this stuff going into it. But after, you know, pushing your body for 7 days, all of a sudden you come back into week 2 and you go, wow, I feel good. That wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. Yeah, it stung a little, but you know what? Because I pushed out of my comfort zone that much, look at the reward I'm getting out of it. You could literally use the exact same tactics in your business. For the next 7 days, it's just like going into a new workout program. I want you to push out of your comfort zone. Do the things you know you should be doing. That's the funny thing about this whole coaching thing and like these training calls, not mine, but all the different training calls and training groups that we have available to us as coaches. Everyone joins these looking for like that next big secret, that next, like, here's step 1, 2, 3. And there is no such thing, right? There's no big secret to success. The big secret lies within your daily activities. And those are already laid out for us. All of us know what to do to be successful, right? Read your personal development. You work on yourself more than anything, and you share about it, and you're inviting on a constant daily basis. That's it. We all know what to do. We all know typically how to do it. You can learn all the different stuff, like how to make YouTube videos, how to do blog posts. That's all stuff you can learn about, though. I mean, just Google it. You can learn how to do anything on Google or YouTube. But it's never about knowing what to do or how to do it, because we all know it. We have our checklist, right? It's the motivation and the mindset to actually just get your ass up and do it, because that's exactly what, like, the last 3 weeks, you know, I found myself more days than not. For whatever reason, I was kind of stuck in like a mini rut mentally. I could not get myself going, but I did it anyways. I still put out my invites. I still, you know, I brought on 3 coaches this month, not because I felt like doing the work, but because I still showed up every single day. So that's what it comes down to, is focus. That's bullet point number 2. So you have to ask yourself, with the time that you're actually putting into it, if, for example, if I were to look at your schedule for the last week and I were to ask, is that all you've got? Would you be able to give a little bit more this week? Because that's what you have to ask yourself. You know, it's like, I personally, I'm not going to look at your schedule and ask you that question and dive into that, because that's your life. That's your business. I know what I'm doing. I'm putting in the hidden hours I know in my schedule. Of course, there's areas I know I can do better. So I ask myself on a consistent basis too, like, is that all you've got? That's something that you should be reflecting on yourself, because if you can become your own best motivator, you can learn to push yourself. There's no better motivation than that, guys. If you just have that something that very few of us have, and it takes conditioning, it takes time to build it to that point, but you can get up and you can do your workouts. You can drink your Shakeology. You can eat the right food. You can share the business opportunity. You can share the challenge pack opportunity, all that kind of stuff. When you can condition yourself to just get up and do it because you are pushing you're not waiting for a third party to come in and get your butt up for you. It's your butt. You have to get up and move it, right? So that's number 2, is focus. Go back and watch the team call from, what was that, 2 weeks ago, where I talked about the power blocks or the time blocks. So if you only have, you know, an hour a day to work this business, break it down into 15-minute chunks. So 15 minutes in the morning, you're going to read your personal development. 15 minutes in the afternoon, you're going to strictly use that for Facebook posts on your main page, your like page, and maybe go into your groups. Maybe your third 15-minute block is going to be messaging people and following up. You're not doing anything but that. You're focusing. You have tunnel vision on what you're doing. And then to finish off the night, maybe that last 15 minutes, you can sit down and write a blog post. It can be about anything. I just wrote a quick one about my top 5 favorite supplements. Blog posts do not have to be this long article. It can literally just be a couple paragraphs about any topic. Especially if you talk about mindset stuff and share your own struggles and how you overcame them, people love that because they connect with it. You never want to be sharing like how perfect your life is. We all know people on Facebook where it looks through their pictures and their posts, they all have like perfect lives, right? But if you were to live with them for a week, you would see, oh shit, these guys are not how I thought they would be. Because a lot of people hide all of, they hide all the struggles. And at least for me, I definitely found that I used to do that. And now I'm sharing more kind of my struggles, the days I don't feel like doing stuff. But through sharing my struggles and how I overcome them, people connect with that stuff tremendously. Especially if you see any of my posts where I start with real talk. That's where I just get blunt with people. And those get so many views, so much traction because it's just real and honest. So that's how you can take your blog posts and your videos, even your Facebook posts, and use that. So number 3 is going to be, again, you guys, we're talking about 6 days, starting tomorrow for 6 days. Act like a leader. Whatever, here's a great exercise, and you can do this right now as you're watching this. Write down 3 qualities of an amazing leader and coach. If you were to think of just the absolute best coach and leader you can possibly think of, what are 3 qualities they would have? And after you write those 3 qualities down, that right there is what you need to become. Because what you wrote down, those 3 qualities, makes up the person you would connect with the best, right? So that's the person you want to become. So for the next 7 days, look at those 3 qualities and be that. The great thing about it is it's choice. You can choose if you want to be a happy, positive, uplifting person, or you can choose to kind of stay, what am I thinking of? Eternalized. You don't really say a whole lot. You're kind of a little bit more quiet, and that's fine. We all have different personality types. Like I'm naturally an introvert. I still love just nights by myself. I'm perfectly okay with that. But I choose to have an outgoing personality because for me, that's my outlet to share my message. If anyone knows me in person, you know that I'm kind of like all over the place like a spaz because I use my body to talk a lot. That's just how I choose that. And especially, I've done a couple speaking gigs where I'm up on a stage talking to people, and I can choose to just stand at one spot, kind of talk like this, like, yeah, you need to get up off your butt and maybe work out. Or I can choose to bring some passion into it because that passion is what people connect with. If people see how excited you are, they're probably going to be drawn to you. Be like, I want whatever Kool-Aid that guy's drinking. They're not going to connect with the person who's a lot more laid back, or I don't know how to explain it, not necessarily laid back, but there's no excitement behind it. I can share a perfect example of that being, we were out of town for the weekend. So we went to this really cool setup where instead of going to our normal church here in town, which is a typical church setup, we got invited over to basically this guy's giant property in a house, and they do this little home church. So everyone's just hanging out in their living room, and they have this guy come in, one of the most powerful speakers as far as a preacher I've ever heard. And it's not that he was sharing any new groundbreaking information, but it was that extra passion that he brought because he was excited about what he was talking about. That's what you need to become with what you're talking about. So when you're explaining challenge packs or P90X or 21-day fix, when you're explaining this stuff to people, ask yourself, am I bringing passion to my conversation where they're actually going to want more information? Or am I kind of boring them and they're just waiting for that conversation to end so they can walk away? Passion, guys, you need to share it. That's one of my 3 qualities of what I think should be a great leader is passion. Because if you have passion, there's other stuff you need to be a great leader, but I think passion is such a core piece of that. If you have passion, you're unstoppable. Passion will lead to other things. Personally, that's why I look up to. Number 4, maybe many of you are stuck in this position. Like I said, a lot of people set the goal of Emerald. I'm looking at the leaders board. A lot of people set the goal of hitting Emerald this month. And if you didn't hit it, that's fine. Don't beat yourself up about it. Again, start with number 1. That was start fresh, clean that slate. So number 4 is going to be momentum. The best example about momentum that I can come up with is if you think about a pilot who's cruising at 38,000 feet, right? And all of a sudden the plane stalls and they start to dive. The only way, we're not talking this guy has a plan B, or maybe if this doesn't work, we can try this. The only way you can get that plane back up to where it needs to be and at full speed is to go 100% full throttle. Not 75%, not 95, not 99%. You need to go 100% full throttle to get back up where you need to be. And I love that example because how true is it that anytime we fall off track with anything, with business, with your own fitness, nutrition especially, that's one of the biggest things we all fall off track with. If you fall off track with nutrition, sure, you can try to go 75%, kind of baby step it, but it will probably take you like 2 months to kind of get back on track where you used to be. But if you switch that around, you fall off track with nutrition and you just say, you know what? Starting right now, I'm all in. I'm hitting that throttle 100%. You're probably going to get better, faster results as opposed to, well, I'm just going to try to little baby steps here. That's what's worked for me. So that's why I love that example. So number 4, again, is momentum. If you have fallen off track, again, if you're like me, I'm looking back at these 3 weeks, I'm going, I could have done way better. I should have done so much better the last 3 weeks than I actually did. That doesn't matter anymore. What does matter is I have the choice to go all in again. I can get that throttle at 100%. I can get back up to where I need to be. And it can happen within a week. Again, that's why I'm focused on, for the next week, you are to do a push. Whatever that push means to you, I'm going to share what mine is. Whatever that push means to you, just do it for the next 7 days. Just kick the ego aside, kick away whatever doubts and fears and limiting beliefs you have, and just do it. Number 5 is going to be setting goals and commitments. So taking those bullet points I just talked about, what can you do with it? So for the next 7 days, I want you to look at your schedule, especially when you see that you have days off of work, maybe. Those are the days you can really get some stuff done. Even if you do have work, like I said, you can do 15 minutes in the morning, 30 minutes at lunch, and maybe 30 minutes at night or an hour at night or something like that. The goal is to just do it. For the next week, I challenge you to earn it. I challenge you to do more than you have ever done. I don't care if you've been signed up for a week or 6 years. I challenge you to get your momentum back. I challenge you to do whatever goals you set. I challenge you to hit them, to do the daily activities. So what if you have to wake up a half hour earlier? So what if you have to stay up a half hour later? If you want it bad enough, you're going to make the sacrifices and get it done. So, for example, my goals for this week, I'm going to send out 20 business invites. That doesn't mean I'm just talking to 20 people. That means I am going to send my personally recorded webinar I've done for the business slideshow. I'm going to send that out to 20 people. It's going to take probably talking to 50 to send that many out. I'm going to do it though. I don't care how. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but you never have to know the how. If you have the passion to do it and the drive, the how is going to come. I'm going to do 3 blog posts this week. I'm going to do 3 to 5 videos for my like page. I'm going to enroll 2 new coaches. I'm going to read 1 entire personal development book. Those are my goals for this week. And on top, those are kind of my big ones. On top of that, I'm finishing up the Getting Started Right group, our business Kickstarter group. I have 2 more video trainings to film for that. Kind of assembling our whole challenge group thing we're doing next week with the Beachbody On Demand. So you can see I'm going to have a busy week, but I've already looked at my schedule. I've already looked at where I can plug these into. And this is my last note. Anytime you see something you need to do that's on your project list or your to-do list, or like these team calls, I can't tell you how many times over the years that I've done these team calls, I've had people like, oh, I forgot. Oh, I didn't know. If you are serious about this business and making this thing work, the things like these team calls and events, summit, all these kind of events, especially your daily activities, these need to be put into your schedule and they have to be non-negotiable. This is how I schedule my own workouts. This is why I'm so consistent with workouts. I do 6 workouts a week. There's about 3 of those I don't feel like doing. I mean, people think for some reason I work out 2 or 3 hours a day, and it's like, no, I don't like the burn of working out any more than anyone else. The difference is I just suck it up and I show up anyways. I keep doing it, and that only happens because I put it in my schedule. Usually about, depending on, of course, if you have babies, this, depending on Ty's schedule, usually about 9 a.m. every day. I have a block in my schedule that says workout. So when 9 a.m. comes up, I treat it like an appointment. That is non-negotiable. I don't book anything else at that 9 o'clock slot, and I don't push it off. I don't start at 9:15 or 9:30. It's 9 o'clock. My butt is in that garage, and I'm working out. So that's how you need to treat everything. Like these team calls, Monday nights at 6 p.m., you need to put the block on your schedule, and it needs to be non-negotiable. If you're going to Summit, if you're not going to Summit this year, tonight, you need to look at next year, 2016, and you need to block off that schedule, usually about mid-July. They haven't announced when it is exactly, but about mid-July. Block that off. These are the kinds of things that need to be blocked on your schedule and need to be non-negotiable. So if you need to be doing messaging and following up, put a 15-minute block in the morning, in the night, in the afternoon, whatever works for you. Put those blocks in your schedule, make them non-negotiable. And you're not doing anything else during that block but what's in there. So last but not least, moving into June, we're going to switch up. So we have been focusing on time management and focus. That's something that nobody ever masters. Like I said, this whole thing's a roller coaster. You have times where you're doing great at it, but then times where, like the last 3 weeks, I've kind of sucked at it. But that's okay, as long as you keep pushing forward. So for June, this lines up perfectly with our Beachbody On Demand Challenge group that we're all doing. And I invited everyone to that event page. So I want you guys to go through that event page and invite your people to it. Again, this is 100% free. So I did a little write-up in the description. So go through and make sure your people read that so they understand they don't have to pay a dime for anything. They sign up for the 30-day Beachbody On Demand. If they want the extra investment and commitment, they can purchase the $30 Shakeology sampler pack. Includes one of each of the 6 flavors. So with that, our focus for June is going to be creating transformations and stories. You guys all signed up to be coaches, right? Here's where you're going to actually start coaching. So all of our team calls, all of the training videos I share inside of our group are going to be based around how to be a better coach, how to be a better leader, how to actually work with somebody. Because it's easy to sign up for this thing and you get somebody, let's say somebody comes to your website and they order 21-day fix and you're like, oh shit, what do I do now? I don't know how to coach anyone. This is what this month is going to be for. You're looking to build your success story binder. So when you start getting clients, you can say, oh, you want to lose 50 pounds? That's great. Let me tell you about this person I just helped out lose 50 pounds. Let me tell you about their story. Let me tell you about what they went through, what worked for them. Build that success story binder. So we're going to do that with the Beachbody On Demand trial group, which is going to be kind of the stepping stone, because these guys get free access for 30 days to all the workouts in the world that they possibly need. They get you as their coach. They get our private accountability team. They get all of our different input and videos and Paul's awesome recipes. They get all this kind of stuff for free for 30 days. And for the ones who actually stick with it and stay committed, 30 days is enough time to get a pretty kick-ass start in a before and after photo. Some of my best photos were from day 1 and day 30 because I fell off track on day 60 and 90. I know I'm not the only one that's the same way. So 30 days, if you really, really work with your people, not just go in the group and like their stuff. If you are on the side behind the scenes, calling them up once a week, doing FaceTime videos, doing Zoom chats, if you're actually working with them with daily text messaging, how can I help you better? They're going to come to you with their struggles. You are that person they're trusting to help out. If you really work with these people for 30 days, that is the start to your credibility, right? How credible is a coach if you don't have any experience. You know, think about walking into a gym and going to a personal trainer and you ask them, you know, well, I really want to lose about 30 pounds. How many people have you helped do that? And they say, oh, I haven't helped any. You probably are thinking, is there another guy that maybe has a little more experience? Because that's what I need. This is your start to it. This is where you get to build those success stories. So it's literally just building your credibility. And I'm able to edify you guys better as coaches too, because if we get people into the team and I'm able to help plug them in with you guys, I'm able to say, you know what, let me tell you about Jose. He's a great coach. I know he's helped this person do this and this and this. I think you guys would be a great match. It's like, boom. I just got to edify, which means making Jose sound awesome, because he is. I'm able to plug him in there and he's able to have the experience to back it up. That's what I want June to be about. It's not so much, you know, I still want you guys to obviously focus on your 3 vital behaviors, business invites, and all that stuff. But your focus is going to be so much more in depth on actually coaching. Again, use this Beachbody On Demand Challenge group because it's going to be a great, great one. I'm excited for it. Aside from that, that's pretty much all I got for you guys. Again, real quick, start fresh right now. Focus, act like a leader. This is all for just the next 7 days, right? I'm challenging you for 7 days. Do all of this, because I can promise you, if you actually do every single one of these bullet points, there is literally no reason why you will not build a foundation of success in the next week. Literally. Just like Robert Hudgens told us in the Dallas Men's Leadership event. If you walk out of here and you are not successful, that's on you. You have every tool you need. The only thing that you're missing is your motivation and your drive to show up and do the work. So if you are not successful after this, that's on you. We've provided everything that you can possibly need between myself doing these trainings, between all the other training groups we have, and all the stuff that Beachbody gives us. We all know what to do. We all know how to do it. We have a team that we're plugged into for accountability. We have all the planets lined up. The only missing aspect is our consistency. So for the next 7 days, let's pull together, start fresh, focus, act like a leader, 100% throttle, get your momentum back, and set your goals right now, because tomorrow is when this starts. Set your goals right now. Even better, I just shared my goals, right? Public accountability. You guys share your goals in the group. Go in there, write it down, take a picture of it, write it inside a comment in there. I don't care. Just share your goals. And aside from that, this has been Coach Shaz. Peace out, crew. I appreciate you guys taking time out of your evening. I've got a boot camp to go lead and get my butt kicked. Have a great night, guys. I'll see you later.
Great call, man. Good night.